Praise the Lord again. My name is Paul Mante. We had a slide hitch, so I needed to start the live video again. Let me use the opportunity to thank the youth leadership, especially the youth director and the executives, the youth pastors across the country, and Pensa members for this opportunity. I can see a few people joining already. I would want to encourage you to call a friend, and please share this page so a lot more people can join and then benefit. God bless you so much. We're going to have a good time. It's going to be massive. I've seen a few comments coming in already. Call a friend and let them log in live. We are discussing the topic learning from the ant, working tomorrow's financial success today. Learning from the ant, working tomorrow's financial success today. That is an interesting topic. We're going to talk about money, and money is everybody's business. So I encourage you, please share the page and let's get a lot more people in us to watch this live video. Share the page and let's get a lot more people joining us to watch this live video. Learning from the ant. We want to learn from the ant this evening. Working tomorrow's financial success today. That is the subject matter we are treating this evening. I can see Lynn also watching us live. God bless you. Call a friend to call a friend. In a minute, we will zoom straight into the topic. In the next minute, we're going straight to talk about money. We are talking about money this evening. Enoch Lord Pra. Yeah, you love today's topic. So share the page, get your friends to hook up, and let them follow. Okay. Let me ask with a few questions. I want to ask a few questions and we proceed. Did you know that if you could invest a lump sum of 1,000 Ghana cedis, 1,000, and you can add 50 Ghana cedis every month at an interest rate of 22%, and you are willing to increase this 50 cedis every month by 10% every year, within 30 years, you would make 3.4 million Ghana cedis. And I'm not talking about the old currency, I'm talking about the new currency. 1,000 Ghana cedis, 50 Ghana cedis every month at 22%, increasing your 50 Ghana cedis every month by 10% every year, and within 30 years you have 3.4 million. Did you know that if you could invest, a young person, you've just started work, you can invest 100 Ghana cedis every month? 100 Ghana cedis every month, and I'm using 22%, which is the average interest rate one of the funds I manage for EcoBank has made over the last 7 years. And you are willing to increase this 100 Ghana cedis every month by 10% every year. Within 30 years, if you started at age 20, or let's say even at age 30, by the time you are 60, that is 5.6 million Ghana cedis. Did you know most of the things we buy and we call assets are really liabilities? And did you know that you do not always need money? And did you know you could have very good academic results, be a first-class student, made all A's, have a good job but become financially poor? And did you know most employees cannot survive for 3 months without a paycheck? Most employees cannot survive for 3 months without a paycheck. Let me ask that important question. And this is a question to those of us who are workers. If you lost your job today, how many months, how many weeks, how many years are you going to be able to survive without salary? This is a question you need to answer. If you lost your job today, how many months, how many years would you survive without the salary? And I say that, look, the average worker must have a minimum of 6 months of income cover. If something should happen, you should be able to survive for at least 6 months. The least is 6 months. So when it comes to managing finances, when it comes to making money, two important things you need. There are two important things. The first one is what I call the God factor. It's very important, the God factor. I don't want to belabor the point on the God factor, but beyond the God factor, you also need what is called appropriate information. And this evening, I am going to be focusing more on the appropriate information, but I just want to put it on record that the God factor is very, very important. The foundational scripture I want to use this evening is from Proverbs chapter 6. Proverbs 6, and I pick from 6 up to about 11. I'll read it very quickly. You can grab your Bible and read alongside. Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider it ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer, or no ruler. Yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. Praise the Lord. And when I add verse 9 says, how long will you lie there, you sluggard? When will you get up from your sleep? I love the verse 10. And then 11. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest will come on you like a thief, and the scarcity like an armed man. Praise the Lord. Go to the ants and let's learn from the ants. Let me pick a few quotations and we proceed. A rich man once said, if you took all the money in the world and divided it equally among everybody, it will soon be back in the same pocket it was before. If you took all the money in the world and divided it equally among everybody, it will soon be back in the same pocket it was before. Yes, Philip, a little sleep. I can see your comment there. And let me add another one from Robert Kiyosaki. He says, money is one form of power. But what is even more powerful is financial education. Money comes and money goes. But if you have the education about how money works, you gain power over it and you can begin building wealth. Please share the page and let's get other young people to benefit from this important program. Traditionally, this is the thinking. Get a good education. Go to school. Good education. Find a good job with some secure benefits. Work till you are 60 and you'll get a good pension. That has been the traditional thinking. Get a good education, find a good job, work till you are 60, and you get a good pension. This advice was perfect in the 1970s and the 80s. Definitely not the year 2020. In the year 2020, there must be a new way of thinking. What is the new way of thinking? The new way of thinking is to learn from the ant, the subject matter from the youth ministry that we are discussing this evening, is to learn from the ant. How do you learn from the ant? You want to work tomorrow's financial success today. So don't forget our topic. Our topic is learning from the ant, working tomorrow's financial success. And why do you want to do this? You want to do this so that one, you can save. You need to be able to save. That is 1. 2, you need to be able to invest. And 3, you want to become financially independent. So you want to be able to save, you want to be able to invest, and you want to become financially independent. What do I mean by savings? Savings simply means deferred consumption. Money you are not spending today. If you have money you are not spending today, you are saving that money. But it's not enough to save, because you see, if you have 10,000 Ghana cedis today and you keep that money and you don't invest it, 2 years down the lane, you will still have 10,000 Ghana cedis. But guess what? The purchasing power would have gone down. What you could have done with the 10,000 Ghana cedis today, in 2 years, you cannot do with the 10,000 Ghana cedis. So it's not enough to save. You need to also learn to invest. And when I talk about money, I'm talking about you committing whatever you have saved into some business, into some investment, into some financial security, so that that money grows. And ultimately, you want to become financially independent. You want to learn from the ant. And the most important thing you are looking at in securing your financial future is you want to become financially independent. What does financial independence mean? It simply means that you get to a stage in life where you can sustain your desired lifestyle without salary. So you get to a stage in life where you can sustain your desired lifestyle without salary. I want to imagine, look at the Church of Pentecost. I want to imagine every area having some 10, 20 young people, energetic young people who are financially independent, who can go to your youth pastor and say, Papa, we want to go have crusade somewhere in the northern place. We don't need anything. Look, we are funding everything ourselves to go and preach the gospel. And the day you are going to that northern region to go and minister the gospel, you are going in a convoy, each of you in your own car, the Land Cruiser, the Lexus, the Nissan Patrol, and all that. And you see, when you enter the town, you need to go and greet the chief. So you go, you say, Your Highness, we are here to young people from the Church of Pentecost, but we can't come and preach the word on your land without coming to pay respect to you, Your Highness. Preach the gospel without coming to pay homage to you. So we are here to pay homage to you, Your Highness. To my Wi-Fi, apologies. But we didn't come empty-handed. We have an envelope, something small for you, just to pay our respect. This is $10,000 for you. Just to pay our respect. But we need you to mobilize the people for the crusade this evening. My question to you is, how do you think the participation will be like? And the gospel message is going to be simple. Christ was rich because of our poverty. He became poor so that through his poverty we might become rich. We came to Christ, he's changed our lives. If you want this Christ to change your life, come and accept Christ. And your guess is as good as mine as to the number of souls we are going to win in that crusade. I want to share with you a few keys that ant. We want to learn from the ant. I want to share a few keys that would help you secure your financial future, or rather to build your finances tomorrow, today, and then become financially independent. What are the keys I want to share with you this evening? The first key I want to share with you this evening is you need to take a decision to secure your financial future. Take a decision to secure your financial future. You know what? Poverty and riches are both based on decisions. How is the decision taken? If you don't decide to be rich, you don't decide to secure your future, poverty would be the default. And the truth is, the lack of money is a major source of stress in our lives and relationships. Thank God for prayer and fasting. Don't get me wrong. I love prayer. I love the all night. I love prayer. I love fasting. I was in UCC Pensa. I was the prayer secretary, 98 up to 99. So I am a man of prayer. But I know it's not enough to pray. We need to pray, but we need to understand how money works. Who said money is not important? I encourage you, if you are watching, share the page so your friends can join us. Who said money is not important? This life is not all about money, I know. But money must be understood. Everything physical can be answered with money. Money will give you the ability to do more things. And more things here means more things. Supporting young people in the church is money. Supporting the youth ministry, it's money. Money will definitely give you access to better healthcare facilities. I understand it can even make marriage better. Money can even make marriage better. Who said money is not important? Money will give you access to better educational facilities. One of the interesting stories I keep sharing, and I am sure a number of you can relate to this story. I think in 2009, I had the opportunity to speak to some young people in a youth camp, one of the areas. had a youth camp. I was one of the speakers. I spoke on the subject matter, see you at the top. When I was done, a young person comes to see me and says, Elder, I want you to mentor me. I am in secondary school. Based on what you have to make 8 A1s, can I have your number? I said, no problem. She took my number. Results came, she made 8 A1s. She made 8 A1s. What do you want to be? I want to become a medical doctor. Bought forms for KNUST. Admission came, her name was not on the list. That must be a mistake. She made 8 A1s. Let's go and check. We go and check, and we are told if she's willing to be a fee-paying student, then she will be admitted. She made 8 A1s. If she's willing to be a fee-paying student, then she will be admitted. It was like a joke. This young lady was home when KNUST reopened. It took a few contacts, a few interventions here and there, and she got a late admission. Today, as I'm talking to you now, she's a medical doctor. Young people, Christianity cannot only end with clapping and jumping. Praise the Lord. Let me share a few scriptures with you why you need to learn from the ant and then secure your financial future. You see, Proverbs 22:7, the Bible says that the rich rule over the poor and the borrower is a servant to the lender. The rich rule over the poor and the borrower is a servant to the lender. Proverbs 19:7, the Bible says, the poor are shunned by all their relatives. How much more do their friends avoid them? Though the poor pursue them with pleading, they are nowhere to be found. Let me add one or two more and we proceed. Ecclesiastes chapter 10. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, 5-7. The Bible says, there is an evil I've seen under the sun. There is an evil I've seen under the sun. The sword of error that arises from a ruler. Verse 6, listen. Fools are put in many high positions, while the rich occupy low ones. I have seen slaves on horseback, while princes go on foot like slaves. Oh, Jesus Christ. Slaves are on horsebacks, while princes go on foot like slaves. Let me add one more and share the page so others can follow this discussion. Ecclesiastes 9:13-16. I saw under the sun this example of wisdom that greatly impressed me. There was once a small city with only a few people in it, and a powerful king came against it, surrounded it, and built huge siege work against it. But now there lived in that city a man poor but wise, and he saved the city by his wisdom. But nobody remembered the poor man. So I said, wisdom is better than strength. But the poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are no longer heeded. This is also in the Bible. And you see, one reason why you need to learn how to secure your financial future, and this is a revelation the Lord gave to me just about 2 weeks ago. I have not even shared on any platform yet. When you manage your finances well, it helps you to redeem time. You are able to redeem time. You see, we run around in the morning. Sometimes and I've been a district youth leader, assistant area leader. I've worked with the youth. Sometimes it's time for reporting and people are not available because they are going to look for something to eat. They've gone to work, and because of work and money, they are not available. They are exchanging their time for money. So when you secure your finances, you redeem time. You remember when Moses went to Pharaoh, when the Lord asked Moses to go and get the people out of Egypt and went to Pharaoh. That is Exodus chapter 5. If you have time, you read the whole chapter. But when you read verse 4, the Bible says, but the king of Egypt said, Moses and Aaron, why are you taking the people away from their labor? And sometimes when you're a youth pastor, you are a youth president, and you need the people to work, they are on their labor. They don't have time. They are working for money. Praise the Lord. So we are praying that young people will redeem time. Young people will become financially independent and they can redeem time. And money does not become sorry, we had a technical hitch. Check for me if we're back on live. We had a technical hitch, so please get your friends to join us again. So there are three things that will hinder you from taking off. Three things will hinder you from taking off when it comes to your finances. One is procrastination. The ant does not procrastinate. Once you procrastinate, nothing is going to happen. Look, tomorrow will never come. If there is something you need to do it today. Two is excuses. You can always find an excuse why you cannot do it. And excuse number one is normally the fact that the salary is not enough. And three is blame, where you point at other people and you think that they are not those helping you. So we need to deal with these three self-imposed limitations: procrastination, excuses, and then blame. We need to deal with these three self-imposed limitations. The second area, or the second key we want to learn from the ant this evening, I want to connect it to finances, is you need to plan your finances. You need to plan your finances. It's very important. And there are a number of things you can plan your finances on. There are just about two or three I want to touch on because of time constraint. One of the areas I want to touch on, if you're a young person, is whether you like it or not, you grow old. You see, you can ask people on retirement how old age is like. Where I sit and the stories I hear, because I do a number of these talks, people come to me every day. The things I hear, a man came to see me, I think somewhere in October last year, who had worked for 35 years and gone on retirement. After 35 years of work, his lump sum, pension lump sum, was 10,500 cedis, and he was entitled to a monthly pension of 350 Ghana cedis or so a month. The ant plans for the future. You need to plan for old age. You don't have to even wait till you are 60 years. You need to, you see, anybody who will take the things we are discussing here serious, I give you some 15 years, 20 years, you are going to be fine. You are going to be financially secure, and money will not be a problem. So you need to plan for retirement. It's one of the areas. Go to the ant. Consider it ways and be wise. It has no ruler, but it stores its food when it has energy to work, so that by the time it is old, by the time you retire, money does not become a problem. You are already at the crossroads, especially if you are working. You have a life-changing decision to make. Will you create the financial future you want, or you will take the one that shows up? Will you create the retirement you want, or you will take the one that shows up? If you don't create the retirement you want, you will not like the retirement that shows up. I want to talk about just two areas of planning. The second area of planning I want to talk about, and I want to encourage every youth. You have started work, it is a very dangerous thing to be paying rent. It's very dangerous. When you pay rent, look at what happens to you. You keep mobilizing money. You give it to a landlord for 2 years. The pressure is off your back. Within 2 years, you are back to ground zero. You need to start again, look for money. It's even more complicated if you are taking a loan to pay for your rent. So I want to encourage every young person, one of the things you need to quickly think about is building your first house. Yes, building your first house, that is what I said. And please, don't make the mistake we almost made. And if you ask me the biggest mistake in my marital life, it's the fact that I confused dream house with the first house. A first house is your first house. A dream house is that big house you are dreaming about. Don't confuse it too. I encourage you, a 3-bedroom simple house. If you commit your mind to it, there are a number of young people who committed their minds to it. Within 4 years, 5 years, they had built their first house. let's learn from the ant and let's plan for the future. Once you have a land, the average worker who commits, you see, people don't realize it. If you want to build a simple 3-bedroom house, you don't need more than 10,000 Ghana cedis to buy enough blocks to build that house. So I encourage you, please, if you are in a rented house, it's okay, but give yourself deadline. Let's learn from the ant and move into your own house. It's very important to do that. Plan for your children's education. It's important to do that. Plan to give back to society. One of the reasons why God blesses us with money is for us to be a blessing. God has blessed you. You have completed school. You have a good job now, a young person. Identify a young person in the youth ministry. Identify somebody who is less privileged, and let's provide some support to that person. God blesses us so that we'll be a blessing. Put a smile on the face of somebody. Somebody must mention the name of the Lord. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. I encourage you, share the page so other people can follow. The next area of key, or the next key I want to share with you that we need to pick from the ant, is to learn to pay yourself. Learn to pay yourself and invest all windfalls. Learn to pay yourself and invest all windfalls. You see, most of us complete school and we start work. Once we start work and we start getting salary, look at what happens. The salary comes in and we distribute the salary. You see, the question I will ask you, especially those of you who are working, is what do you do with your salary? The salary comes and you pay your rent. When you pay your rent, the money goes to somebody. The salary comes and you pay for food. When you pay the food, the money goes to somebody. When you pick that Uber or you pay for the transportation, that money goes to somebody. Full credit, that money goes to somebody. So if you are not careful, you work hard, you make money, but all you'll be doing is to be distributing the money. You make money and then you distribute. But you see, there is a law called the Parkinson law, and it's one of the important laws you need to understand when you want to manage finances. The Parkinson law states that no matter how much people earn, they will always adjust their lifestyle to match their salaries. So when people start work, and let's say the guy is on a salary of 300 cedis, just for the purposes of this discussion, they will complain, but they will manage with them to 1,500 cedis, which is 5 times the 300 cedis. Give them 6 months. You know what they will do? They will adjust their lifestyle to match the salary. And I tested this law somewhere, I think last year in a big church. I asked a simple question. How many of you struggle with your salaries? If your salary is not enough, let me see by hand. And you know, all the hands went up. So I asked a follow-up question. How many of you believe that if your salary is doubled, you would begin to live a comfortable life? Once I asked that question, the hands went up again. So for those who lifted their hands, I asked 10 of them to step out of the congregation. They came in front. I gave them pieces of paper, asked each person to write their current salary for me. Among the 10, the lowest income earner was on a salary of 350 Ghana cedis a month. The guy earning 350 Ghana cedis a month said that it wasn't enough. If it is doubled, then it will be enough. How much is a double of that? That is 700 cedis. But among 10 of them, one of them was on a salary of 3,000, which is almost 10 times the 350. One was on a salary of 11,000. One was on a salary of 20,000 Ghana cedis. So among the 10, you would have one person on a salary of 350 Ghana and another on a salary of 20,000 Ghana cedis. Yet the guy earning 350 a month says it's not enough, and the guy earning 20,000 a month says it's not enough. The salary is not the problem. We need to go to the ant and we need to learn how to manage the little we have. Else the salary will be increased, but nothing is going to change. If you are enjoying let's have your comments, let's have your questions. I will address the questions as I go along or towards the end. and share the page so other people can follow. So I recommend what I call the 10-20-70. Your tithe of 10% if you are a believer, and I believe that all of us are tithers. We are people who understand tithe. Once you pay your tithe of 10%, I recommend a minimum of 20% of your salary, a minimum of 20% of your salary, minimum of 20% for an investment into the future. Any worker who can invest 20% of your salary, 20% of your salary, I give you 15 years, maximum 15 years, you are going to be fine. 20% of your salary. And then the 70% can be for the landlord, Ghana Water, and all the others. 10, 20, 70 principle. If you're a person who have just started work, you live with your parents, you don't pay utility bills, you don't pay rent, I encourage you to even do more. But the minimum I recommend is 20%. Look, it doesn't matter how small you think your salary is. Somebody's salary is lower than yours. And for some reason, that person is still alive. So we cannot say the salary is not enough. You got to learn to pay yourself and invest all windfall. What are windfalls? A windfall is any money you didn't budget to receive, because you would have lived your life without that money. We call it a windfall. The accounts have a proverb that says, only the wise bite bones out of eggs. Money is like an egg. You can consume it all today, or you can hatch the egg into a chicken. That chicken will grow up one day, and when you have prepared your stew or your soup or whatever, you can bite bone out of that egg. But the only way you find the money is, and I quote our scripture again, go to the ant. Let's learn from the ant. It stores its provisions in summer. Let's go back to the ant. The only way you can do that is to watch spending habits. Wealth is created little by little. Wealth is created little by little. You see, even the promised land that God gave to the Israelites, the Bible says, God said, I'm not going to give the whole land, to conquer the land little by little. Wealth is created little by little. Your first million Ghana cedis is going to be built up little by little. You may have to start with your first 20 Ghana cedis, your first 50 Ghana cedis, and you build up from there. So you need to watch spending habit. You see, every expenditure can be cut down between 1 and 70%. Every expenditure, from food to clothing to transportation to travel, every expenditure can be cut down. And one of the areas I encourage you to pay attention to is first time spending. When you are building your first house, if you haven't done it before, talk to other people who have done it before. Your salary must dictate what you eat, not your appetite. Can I take that again? Your salary must dictate what you eat, not your appetite. If you want to make money, look, there are simple things we take for granted. Simple things like utilities, electricity. Daytime, your lights are on. Things like water, things like telephone. You know what? You can practice this from tomorrow. For almost every call you make, that you need to send a message across, within a minute, you can finish with that phone call. Sometimes we go round and round and round and round, and as we are going around, it is money going down the drain. If you left the light in your room, in your building, so you live in a house, you left the light on throughout the night, from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m., you know what you've done? You've left those lights on for 6 hours that night. 6 hours when you are asleep and you don't need the lights on. If you do that for 10 years, that is 6 hours multiplied by 365 days by 10 years. That is electricity bill of 21,900 hours that you could have avoided. How we handle water. These are minor things we take for granted. And The people who are wealthy are by the grace of God, because of this speaking engagements, and we're dealing with people on money. We meet people who you meet an extremely wealthy man. You visit him. He says, let's have lunch before you leave. You are there. The wife comes to ask you, we are going to cook plantain. How many fingers will you eat? If you say 3 fingers, when they finish, they will bring you 3 fingers. Because they cook looking at the number of people. You must never throw away leftover food again. After today, you must never throw away leftover food again. Don't borrow to consume. You don't borrow to buy TV and dining room chairs and those things. We borrow to do things that will bring back money. You don't borrow to consume. There is something on my mind. I don't know. Okay, I will say it. Please, don't borrow for a wedding. Can I repeat it again? Please don't borrow for a wedding. If you borrow for a wedding, you are going to start your marital life in a pit. Do what you can. After all, what is the first miracle Jesus performed? Turning water to wine. And where did he perform that miracle? At the wedding. So even in the days of Jesus, there were shortages at wedding. It's nothing new. If there is a shortage at your wedding, buy what you can. If it is 2 crates of minerals you can buy it. Look, there were a number of church auditoriums within the Church of Pentecost. If you don't add any decor, you can still have your wedding. Why do we put so much pressure on ourselves? I pray that if you're a young person listening to me, you're a Pensa member listening to me, by the time you marry and you go on honeymoon, you will not be discussing debt. When you go on honeymoon, by the time you are married, you will be discussing when to build your first house. Hallelujah. See, your salary must dictate what you wear. You are not in competition with anybody. If you want to learn from the ant and you want to build your financial future today, don't be in competition with anybody. It's your own race. It's your own future. And please, be independent. Declare independence and do what you can handle. It's as simple as that. If you are married, I encourage you to get your family involved. Your wife, your husband, your children involved. It's important to be on the same page with all of them. The 4th key, which is the last but one I want to share with you this evening, is learn to create a money machine. You need to have 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 a machine that creates money for you. And when a man works for money, there is a time when a woman works for money. But there must be a time when money must work for you. You must get to a point in time. Can you imagine at the stage where your money works for you? Interest of 5,000 every month, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, 1 million Ghana cedis. Interest every month. That is your money working for you. It becomes a money machine. There are about 3 types of automatic money machines. 3 types I want to share with you. One is properties. Let me not belabor the point of property, except to say that if you want to look at property as a money machine, you need to get the model right and you need to get the location right. Else it becomes a complete waste of money. It becomes a complete waste of money. Can you imagine spending 300,000 Ghana cedis on a house and renting it out for 800 cedis or 1,000 cedis a month? When, if you had invested that 300,000 cedis at 20% average interest, you'll be making 5,000 a month. So if you look at properties, get the model right, get the location right, else it's a complete waste of money. The 2 areas I want you to focus on as a youth member is paper assets and then business. Paper assets and then business. When it comes to business, the statement I want to make on business is this: look, everybody's money is in somebody's pocket. To make it is somebody needs to give that. But if you understand the concept of a business, you create a system that people voluntarily give you money. So you create a system where people bring you money. Isaiah chapter 60 verse 11, Isaiah 60:11. The Bible says, your gates will always stand open. They will never be shut day or night, so that people may bring you the wealth of the nations. Your gates will always stand open. Your gates, they will not be shut day or night. Working for you and producing money. Praise the Lord. And I pray, it's my prayer, that some 5 years, some 10 years, some 15 years, some 20 years to come, we'll have young people in the church of Pentecost who have money machines, who have taken after the Tobinkos and the Zoom Lions and Nana KJC, among other things. And I pray that you will receive that grace in the name of Jesus. You need to have a money machine. And when it comes to business, let me make this statement before I forget. There is nothing like, because of my level of education, this kind of business is too low for me. I go for a board meeting with a friend the other day, and he was in suit and tie. He says, "Sport, today you see me in suit and tie." I said, "Yes." He said, "Tomorrow when you look for me, you'll not find me in suit and tie." I asked, "Where will I find you?" He said, "Me with my pigs, feeding my piggery." This is a guy who has an MBA from the UK, feeding my piggery. But the statement he added is this, that the money that comes from the pigs does not smell funny. So when it comes to making money, there is nothing like this is too low for me. The final area of money machine I want to touch on is paper asset, mutual funds, unit trust, fixed deposit, and all that, where you put your money into a financial security and your money works for you. And of course, you need to get it right. I don't mean go and put your money anywhere. Look for a reputable place where you can sleep sound and your money works for you and the money generates money. 2 areas within the paper asset I will recommend for starters are mutual funds and then unit trust. Mutual funds and then unit trust, because it's very easy to add up and it's very easy to get out when you need to get out. Let me take 2 or 3 quotations and then I will wrap up with the final key. Listen, salary is the medicine for managing poverty. It does not cure it. Only a business or an investment cures poverty. You got to start investing now. Not everybody can run a business, but everybody can invest. If you don't find a way to make your money work for you while you are asleep, you would keep working when you have to sleep. If you don't find a way to make your money work for you, you will keep working when you have to sleep. The final key I want to share with you is launch Operation 1 Million. And I will wrap up very quickly. If you have questions, you can post your questions so I can respond. If you have questions, drop your questions and then I can respond to your questions. Launch Operation 1 Million. And I am encouraging every young person. This is something the Lord laid on my heart some 5 years ago or so, and I started talking about Operation 1 Million. Every young person who commits yourself to making your first million Ghana cedis can make at least 1 million Ghana cedis. And I don't mean the old currency, I mean the new currency. At least 1 million Ghana cedis. You see, if I am the managing director of EDC Investment Limited, so it's easier to use one of the funds I manage, the fixed income fund, that has done an average of 22% over the last 7 years or so. If you use the fixed income fund returns of 22%, anybody watching this show who can start committing 5 Ghana cedis a day or 150 Ghana cedis every month, and I am compounding quarterly, within 23 years you make 1.1 million. 10 Ghana cedis a day or 300 cedis every month, within 19 years 1.1 million. 600 every month, within 17 years 1.2 million Ghana cedis. 1,500 cedis every month, within 13 years 1.2 million. 3,000 every month, within the 10 years 1.2 million. 6,000 every month, within 7 years 1.1 million. So you see, the person who can invest 150 Ghana cedis can make the first million in 23 years. The person who can invest 6,000 every month can make the first million Ghana cedis in 7 years. Everybody watching us can find your level somewhere. even if it is 50 Ghana cedis a month. The problem with the number of young people is the what do I call it? The fast track mentality. You see a young person and the car it took 20 years for his father to drive. He wants to drive it in 1 year. Life does not work that way. Life does not work that way. Wealth is created little by little, and you got to give yourself time. Don't tell me 19 years, 17 years, and all that is too long. I was a Pensa prayer secretary in 1998. I can remember our prayer meetings on the Casford field. I can remember the times we spent in the garden praying and all that. But you know what? It is 22 years already. It is 22 years. 1998 to now. 22 years. So don't tell me 19 years is far. We were in this country, the president of Ghana. This is 20 years. So I encourage you, build it little by little. Proverbs 13:11 says, dishonest money dwindles away, but he who gathers money little by little makes it grow. Brian Tracy, in his book entitled Laws of Business Success, said, and I quote, John D. Rockefeller started working as a clerk, earning $3.75 per week. From this amount, he gave half to his church and saved 50 cents. It wasn't much, but it was a beginning. By the time he was 50, he was perhaps the richest man in the world. You don't need super income. We are learning from the ant this evening. You don't need super income to become financially independent. What you need is steady income. Steady income. And what you need is focus, a financial plan, and consistency. And whether you like it or not, you will become financially independent. Let's look at even building money little by idea of putting away 50 Ghana cedis every month. 50 Ghana cedis every month. Even with 50 Ghana cedis every month, you give yourself, so you are a young person, you give yourself another 30 years, and you are looking at over 1.6 million Ghana cedis, little by little. In the 30 years, the total amount you would have invested is 18,000 Ghana cedis. But this 18,000 will grow to about 1.6 million. The interest on the 18,000 alone is 1.6 million. Let's look at those on higher income who can do 500 cedis a month. Give yourself 20 years and you have about 1.9 million, almost 2 million. Within 30 years, 180,000 cedis investment is going to give you about 16.8 million. Those on the super income, 2,000 a month. Within 20 years, you're looking at 7.7 million Ghana cedis. It's little by little, focus, commitment, and you can get there. But what I recommend, because of time constraint, I want to round up very quickly. What I recommend is this, that you try to do a lump sum if you can. And beside the lump sum, you try to be adding something every month. But whatever you are adding every month, because salaries increase normally on a yearly basis, you try to increase that. So let's look at some 1,000 Ghana cedis and adding 50 Ghana cedi every month. I'm using the same 22% compounded quarterly. 50 Ghana cedis every month, but increasing these 50 Ghana cedis by every year. Within 20 years, total investment is 35,365 cedis, but that would have grown to 380,000. Within 30 years, you have 3.4 million Ghana cedis. 3.4 million Ghana cedis. Those on higher salaries, let's look at somebody who can 1,000 cedis lump sum, plus 500 cedis every month, and growing these 500 cedis by 10% every year. Within 20 years, you are looking at 4.5 million. Within 30 years, you are looking at 40 million Ghana cedis. Let me give you another scenario of somebody who would do 50,000 cedis lump sum plus 1,000 every month, 50,000 lump sum plus 1,000 every month, but growing this 1,000 Ghana cedis % every year. Within 15 years, you have 3.1 million. Within 20 years, 9.7 million. Within 30 years, you are looking at 87 million Ghana cedis. Financial independence is possible. Let's learn from the ant. You need to build up little by little. When you do that, it's just a matter of time. and whether you like it or not, you will make a fortune. I encourage you to start early, and I will round up by saying that, look, financial independence is possible. Anything is achievable. Financial independence is achievable. David Chilton, the wealthy Baba, says the best time to plant an oak tree is 20 years ago. If you want to see the benefit of a tree, you should have planted it 20 years ago. If you made a mistake 20 years ago and you didn't plant the tree, the next best time you need to plant the tree is today. Don't wait till tomorrow. Plant it today. If you want more details, of course, if you follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, there are a lot more videos and a lot that you can learn. A number of videos have been posted there. And I also encourage you, I've authored a number of books. I encourage you, grab some of my books and read them. If you go on my Facebook and you post a request there, somebody will respond and possibly deliver the books to you. Get the books and read them. I have a foundation for financial independence. Financial independence is possible, and Operation 1 Million. I encourage you to get it. The final question that I want to answer: where should you start from? You can start from anywhere. Just make sure that they are properly licensed to start building your wealth little by little. But of course, I'm the managing director of EDC Investment Limited. So if you want to come to EDC EcoBank, that is great. And you can do this from any EcoBank branch. You go with your passport picture and your ID card, passport picture, and any national ID with your digital address, and you are good to go. You are good to go. You can go to any EcoBank branch. EDC is in the EcoBank head office, but you can go to any EcoBank branch with your passport picture, your ID card, and you can start with a minimum of 50 Ghana cedis. Tomorrow morning, you can start 50 Ghana cedis, and you start your journey towards your first million Ghana cedis. Learning from the ant, working tomorrow, financial success today. The time is 9 p.m. Let me be on for another 5 minutes. I am just looking at your questions, and I will try to answer your questions. Samuel, Adanu Samuel, your question is: assuming one wants to make an income of 50,000 Ghana cedis in 3 years, how much should I save in a month? How much should I save in a month? So Samuel, what I will do is go to my page and just drop a message there. I will respond, pick your WhatsApp number or telephone number, and do the calculations and share with you. David says procrastination is deadly, like coronavirus. Palace, God bless you. Bless you too, David Amangwa. Procrastination is deadly like coronavirus. This is interesting. And please, can I get your contact? Yes, you can get my contact. Drop me a message on Facebook. I will respond and I'll share. Richard, your question is: how do I get in touch with EDC? Please go to any EcoBank branch. Tell them fixed income fund, the EDC fixed income fund, with a minimum of 50 Ghana cedis, your passport picture, any national ID, and your digital address, and you are good to go. Okay, so that is my wife. You don't need super income to become financially independent. You need steady income. Thank you, Linda. Samuel, assuming one wants, okay, Samuel, I've addressed your issue already. Pastor Joe, we don't need super income to be rich. Move on, Papa. Thank you, Pastor Joe. God bless you. You don't need. A lot of people are in love with that statement that you don't need super income. You don't need super income. You need steady income. A lot of people, I think that is a hashtag for the day. Build little by little. Nyamadi, God bless you. Elizabeth Frimpoma, God bless you. Elder for the inside, God bless you. Elizabeth, I can see Buatima Ando watching. God bless you, Buatima. I am with you on Friday. We'll have a live show. Nyama, the salary is the medicine for managing poverty, but it does not cure it. That is right. For managing poverty, money that comes from piggery does not smell funny. That is another comment from somebody watching us. Let me see your comment. Amen, amen, amen. Everybody's money is in somebody's pocket. Create a money machine that will bring money to you. Great. So you are followed. Francis Amankwa. The best gift to give to yourself and your loved one is a book titled Financial Independence is Possible, written by the speaker. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. In a minute, this live streaming, I will end it in a minute. George Siama Bediaku says, God have mercy. Death after marriage is serious. Yes, it's serious. You start your marriage in a pit. Don't borrow to marry. That is from Ebenezer Emmanuel Owusu. Anita says, God practical teachings, really learning, and Lord, yeah. You don't borrow to consume.